So today I'm here with my parents, and I just wanted to ask, and you can each go, but when did you notice that I was a little different than regular little girls? Or did you notice at all?
Why? You were always very unique.
Yeah.
And when you started talking, you often referred to yourself as a little boy.
Uh-huh.
And you never liked to wear dresses when you were little because you felt much more comfortable in slacks and pants. And what was unusual was you always really liked boys. And your best friend was a boy, and your cousins were boys, and you really enjoyed being the same.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything, or?
Your mother is far more perceptive
Yeah.
than myself.
Yeah.
When you were a little child, you were very, I thought, happy, outgoing and so forth. And I really didn't focus on
That's good.
the things that you're asking about.
Yeah, it was good that neither of you pushed me really hard to be more like a proper little girl. You kind of let me run free and express myself, so that was nice.
Why? What is nice is that I didn't grow up with boys were blue and girls were pink.
Yeah.
And so to me it was totally natural that you always wore, really nice, bright colors and it just fit your type very well.
Yeah.
And you were a very cute little child.
That's good.
Yes,
and a
true.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
As I got older, did you ever worry that I was too masculine, or that I wasn't growing out of my phase, or be honest?
why I sometimes wondered, and when I talked to your Oma,
Yeah.
I said, I don't understand. Tani, still thinks she's a little boy and she's getting older. And my mother said always, oh no, she's a little tomboy. I used to be just like that. And so I thought that was perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Except that your tomboy time lasted forever. and so sometimes I really wondered, and then I decided why you have been unique all the time. And I know that often I have said to you, just stay as you are, be as you are. And I think when I was a little worried about you were around puberty, because that was very, very hard on you.
Yes, I hated that.
And you were kind of depressed.
Yeah.
And after that, I think you had that more often, that you were kind of withdrawn and depressed. And I thought often that it's a stage you go through. So, and I think it was very difficult because I didn't feel like interrogating you.
Yeah.
Because you were not very good expressing yourself, and a couple of times you tried.
Yeah.
And if I didn't respond the way you wanted to, you immediately would say, I don't want to talk about it.
That's true.
And so I had to kind of think and worry what is going on.
Yeah.
And I think that often when you were really kind of down, you would write.
Yeah.
And sometimes you wrote to me or to Dad, or just you wrote something and just put it somewhere that I definitely see it. And then I was heartbroken because of the difficult times you had.
Yeah.
And then when I tried to talk to you about it, you often, didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
That was very difficult.
That is. So as
for you,
yeah.
because as a mother, I wanted that you are happy and that you feel good.
So
your mother also had much more exposure, because in those days I was still working.
That's true.
And the trips were, relatively speaking, long.
The hardest things for you, it sounds like, were just kind of watching the process of me growing up and it being hard. Is there And
No,
were you ever self-conscious about me, like, and how others perceived you as parents or anything?
No, I never cared how people perceived me as parents because I basically felt I have always been a good mother.
That's true.
Because I have tried my very best and to be objective as I can.
Yeah.
But what you know, for me it was very difficult to see that you had very unhappy times.
Yeah.
And that there was nothing I felt in my power I could do about.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was very, very grateful for was that besides, you know, having us parents, I felt that you always had some really good supportive friends. And that kind of helped me to think, why, if you don't want to share everything with me, at least you have some support.
Yeah.
And I try to be as open as possible. And there were times where we had very good open talks.
Yeah.
And yet there were times when I felt really hurt.
Right.
Because you shut me out.
Yeah. And it's hard. You know, it was hard to talk about with you. It was also hard to talk about with friends. It was something I didn't really want to think about because it seemed like such a just a damnation of life, you know, to be this way for my entire life. It just seemed horrible. But so it took time for me to actually be able to share this sort of part of myself with other people too, not just you, but yeah, I have to say thank you so much for calling me Forrest and supporting that.
Why, I think that everybody, you know, at a certain point takes their own life in their hands. And I think that we have always been really proud of you. And for the main reason is that you have been true to yourself.
That's true.
Because I want to mention one thing I loved in your high school book. I put a picture of you as Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And I said that you were super special. And stay the way you are, explore and exploit this world and make it a better place.
Yeah.
And I think in a way you have done that.
Yeah.
There's also the thing that as a teenager, when you get to puberty and whatnot, you're not so open with your parents.
Yeah.
And that's a stage you go through.
Yeah.
And I can remember, you know, when I got into that thing, it was a far more, we had this life and this was the home life and so forth.
Yeah.
So those were actually two different things.
Do you ever think of me as your son or?
Strangely enough, I'll tell you this, the moment you were born, I had the strongest feeling that you should have been a boy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that was.
That's cool.
And I had that during the pregnancy because I was pretty sure this was a boy. And I was really surprised when the doctor said, "Oh, this is a sturdy little girl."
Yeah.
And I thought, that's weird.
What?
And then I thought, why, that's fine. We take whatever is there.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that I have had a problem with that, or I can say that I, as a parent, that I felt really insecure.
Yeah.
What I feel insecure about is if somebody tries to stereotype you.
Yeah, that's hard.
And then I, have to say why you have to talk to her, and I find you very unique, but I find it difficult when people, pinpoint one or the other.
Yeah. So how does it feel when you refer to me as her or she? Because it feels a little unnatural for me, but...
Right, basically because I'm used to it. And at one point I asked you and you said she is fine.
I don't remember that point.
This is fairly recent.
Yeah.
It's when you wanted to be called Forrest.
Yeah.
And I said, are you he or she? And you said, why, she is fine.
Yeah, I guess
and
I was
so
a little weak on
if
that.
you prefer to be he, that's fine with me.
What if I took hormones? How would you feel about that?
I feel it's your choice, because I feel everybody is in control of his or her own life.
Yeah. I'll say goodbye for now, but thank you. Thank you very much.